Bienvenue au code Relève. S'il vous plaît, veuillez éteindre le son de vos appareils électroniques. Chaque équipe dispose de 20 minutes afin de présenter son cas au juge. J'afficherai un carton pour les 10, les 5, les 2 dernières minutes et les 30 dernières secondes de la présentation. Lors des 10 dernières secondes du discours, j'indiquerai à l'aide de mes deux mains le nombre de secondes restantes. Une équipe n'ayant pas terminé sa présentation après 20 minutes se verra arrêtée afin de passer à la période de questions. Une période de questions d'une durée maximale de 5 minutes est allouée au jury à la fin de la présentation. Je tiens à rappeler au jury qu'il est obligatoire de poser au moins une question lors de cette période. J'inviterai maintenant les jurys à se présenter et vous pourrez débuter par la suite.
Bonjour, mon nom est Karine Cusignan, je suis directrice acquisition de talent pour Enterprise Holdings et je couvre la province du Québec.
Bonjour, Éric Dumont, directeur des ressources humaines pour le Québec pour Enterprise.
Bonjour, Philippe Giroux, stratège numérique chez Marketing.
So, they say that life is like an open road, and it was, until I got to university. Essays were hard, but the stop sign really came when it was time for me to start thinking about what am I going to do after university? Where am I going to find a job? First of all, I didn't know where to look. There were simply too many options, and some companies stuck out more than others. Your company, Enterprise, is a great one to work for. You have amazing core values, and any student would be lucky to work there. What we need to work on is getting students, getting Enterprise to be more visible to students, and that's why we are here today. My name is Zoe, these are my colleagues Stephanie and Mark, and together we are CHIP Consulting. What we are here to do today is to bring Enterprise to students' daily lives, and this is going to help with your HR and your hiring. So the key issues that you've outlined to us today this is really what's going on in the outside, is that millennials and Generation Ys are opting for more flatter organizations. They really value teamwork, which is something that your company Enterprise values as well. There's a preference towards a fun workplace, and there are high values on work-life balance. This is all great news for you because your company Enterprise does all of this so well and it fits in perfectly with your core values. So what is our mandate for you? And the mandate you outlined for us is to really increase recruitment for Enterprise Holdings by spreading awareness of the companies, and not only the company itself, but their values and the work culture, which is really what these Generation Ys are looking for today. We're going to do this to you by helping you, first of all, increase your exposure. Secondly, we're going to provide a view into the work-life culture and show students that it's fun to work at Enterprise. This is where you want to be working. Lastly, we need to provide a clear employer brand, and we're going to reveal this to you later on in the presentation. I'll now pass it on to Steph, who's going to outline the key performance indicators.
So we just wanted to start you off by giving you a bit of what your company really values and just something to keep in mind during the presentation. So some of the things that we're looking for to help improve are total number of applicants recruited, retention of new applicants and new employees, and the amount of interest in events that you guys host. So I'm just going to move on to a simple environmental analysis. You guys already know your company, but we want to make sure that you really realize how some of the things that maybe aren't quite perfect in the company can be turned into huge advantages for you. So just to start with what you're great at, you guys know exactly what you're looking for in terms of recruitment. You have a really great, solid idea of who you want to work for your company, and you have a well-known brand. Everyone that you come across knows the name Enterprise. What needs work is that, unfortunately, even though it is a well-known brand, people know the name Enterprise, but they don't really know what Enterprise is, what it means, and what you guys are doing as a company, such as the scholarships and the participation in the universities, and the unawareness of really just your culture as a company. Some things to watch out for are that there are many companies in your field, so when it comes to recruiting, you might find that if initiatives aren't taken, that some of the really good recruits are going to other companies instead of yours, and that exposure is very difficult to obtain. So even though you guys do have some very great concepts of your company, it might be difficult to get it across to the people that you want to hire. But every threat can be turned into an opportunity. So knowing exactly who you're looking for is a huge opportunity, and even though there's a lot of different companies, if you guys get more online, start expanding on your website and different ways, it will be clear to these recruits that it is possible for you guys to be a huge candidate for them. Next, I just wanted to go over your target market, really. So as I had said before, you guys have, your company is very strong in the way that you know exactly what you're looking for. So we have here a couple different people that might come and work for your company. So the first one that we're going to go over is student and new grads. So who are they? They're students that are either in university or just graduating from university. They're people that really value challenges and new opportunities and learning experiences. And as far as pay goes, they're looking for about average pay and average benefits with lots of opportunity for growth in a company. Our next section is an educated worker. So that is someone that is either in the field already or they already have a job but are looking to expand into a different field. So they are already a professional. Something that they really value is job assurance. They want to make sure that the job that they get is going to be there for them, and they will probably look for more of a management role, something a little higher up in the company, and they will be a little more strict about they would like a certain higher pay and more benefits, something to that extent. And our final section is the family man. So what that is it's men and women who already have a family that they need to be supporting, and things that are important to them are good work-life balance, as well as job security. And they're looking for a job that would be very secure and that would have a lot of benefits so that like if one of their kids did get sick, it's covered. So what we really wanted to focus on is the students and new grad for your company, because we think that given the information that you provided us about exactly who you're looking for, these are the people that you want to be working for Enterprise.
All right, so now that we know who it is we're going to be trying to target, we need to look at ways of actually going out there and getting this top talent from the student sector. So we've outlined 3 alternatives. The first to be online tools, which is sort of like what you're doing now, sites like Workopolis. These are great, however, they don't go out and really grab the students' attention. It's more of like the students go out to see you. So what we want to do is get enterprises known out. The second option would be to do a school-specific app and continuing with schools as also doing events at these schools. This would be great because generation-wise, we're always known for being on our phones all the time. We love technology. This is going to be able to go out there and really grab their attention. The last alternative would be to continue doing conferences, things like lunch and learns. However, it was outlined to us that these aren't always the best alternatives because attendance can be low and you're not really grabbing these students' attention because it's more of a form of recruitment for older generations. And like I mentioned before, we really value this technology. We like when things are easy to access and come fast to us. So this is why we recommend for you to go with school-specific apps as well as events to really go out there and grab these students and new graduates. So our recommendation to you is, again, to bring Enterprise to students' daily lives. That way when they come to this stop sign and it's time for them to choose a job, Enterprise is already a known name in their head, and Enterprise is a place where they want to work. So this is going to be done, again, through the app sponsorship by partnering with universities to create an all-around app that my colleague Mark will touch upon later, as well as event marketing that's going to go to places where students are out there having fun and let them know what Enterprise's core values and core culture is all about. If you guys like to have fun too, it's going to be a great place for them to work. All of this brings us to the employer branding that we want to create for Enterprise that's going to be key in grabbing these students. What we want to do here is let them know that Enterprise is where they're going to begin their life's enterprise at Enterprise Holdings. This is the start of their career. It's a great start, and this is going to take everything they've learned in business school to the next level. I'll now pass it to Mark, who's going to go along about the implementation of our strategy.
So how are we going to get this great talent? So we need to increase exposure and increase the memorability of the brand throughout the student's academic career. So a lot of universities have university-specific apps. This would be used for, checking your courses, checking textbook supplies, booking career advising appointments, and also a lot of them are now implementing job opportunities on this app. So what we wanted to do is get Enterprise to sponsor these, this portion of the app that pertains to job opportunities. So what this would allow Enterprise to do is be on a student's phone all the time. Every time they check this app, which is almost on a daily basis as a university student, you will see the Enterprise logo right under job opportunities. Also, Enterprise's jobs will be pinned to the top of this job board on the university-specific app. So this will be really bringing Enterprise to the students' daily lives. Also, university students don't really remember the academic portion of their university career. They love the events. That's all they remember. So what we want to do is have Enterprise sponsor these events on a two times a year basis, and whether that be frosh, winter events, summer events even. Having Enterprise's name at the university all the time is a great way to increase exposure and increase the possibility of students remembering the brand throughout their academic career. And then lastly, we really want to see Enterprise sponsoring events such as, let's take Red Bull Crash Dice for an example. Students love this sport. It takes place in Mont-Tremblant or Quebec City, and they love the university feel of it. There's a lot of students watching these events, and having Enterprise's name on one of the billboards at these events or during the commercials would really increase exposure for the brand. So how are we going to do this? So how are we going to implement these plans? So in the short term, we will be developing, we will be helping with the development of apps at certain universities that don't already have apps, and sponsoring the universities who already have these apps. Having Enterprise's name on these apps will increase the exposure, and we will be allocating 40% of our budget towards this certain topic. Along with that, we would like to start event planning in the short term. So we'd like to have semesterly events, once in the first semester and once in the second semester. And this will pertain to 15% of our budget. And we would like Enterprise's event management and marketing team to help with this action. So in the medium term, we will actually like to start the semesterly events and the yearly event sponsorships off campus. So this will pertain to sponsoring frosh at the university, sponsoring winter events, and also sponsoring the yearly event such as Red Bull Crash Dice or something that university students are really into. This will also be done by the marketing team and the event management team at Enterprise. And it will be taking up 25% of our budget for the semesterly events and 20% of our budget for the yearly event. And then in the long term, we would just like to research on future opportunities and then review on the past experiences with the event sponsorships and the app sponsorship.
So just to go back over the KPIs that I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, we had added some values to them as well. So for example, the total number of applicants returning, we had wanted to increase the number of applicants through the implementation that my colleagues had just mentioned, and we were hoping to do that by a minimum of 30%. As far as retaining the new employees, so what that really means is just that from the applicants that you choose to join your company, how many of them are actually staying with the company for the long run. We would like to try and augment that by 25%. And then because non-university events isn't something that you guys are yet doing, so that's something more like the Red Bull Crash Dice, where it's an event that there will be a lot of university students at, but it's not strictly a university event. We're going to hope to up it by 100%, seeing as you're not already doing that. So that will help with your overall exposure.
All right, so we've told you what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, but why is it going to help and why is it going to be really essential to go through with this plan, to go through with the app and these events? Students are walking around campus, on this app, they're going to have a map of their courses. They're going to have their class schedule. They're going to have everything that they need that is typically on a portal on their screen or even on an already developed app. However, now when it's time for them to go apply for jobs, this is going to be made extremely easy because this tab is going to be included on the app. It's going to be next in a home menu, there's going to be a job posting section. This is key, and this is the differentiating factor between having this on an app and simply having it on a website, is that when students are online, typically they're doing other things. They're checking Facebook, maybe they're doing their homework, but when they're on the app, a lot of the times they're just sort of mindless and they're fidgeting. So when they're going and they look on the job posting section, it's going to catch their attention and it's going to make it that much easier for them to go out, see Enterprise's name at the top of the list, and really apply. We want to make sure that we have the application opportunity in the app itself. This is going to be really like an MIS factor and really in development with the school. However, it is going to be really key that they can apply on the app. We want to make sure that it's super simple for them to go through with this application process. Another thing that has been highlighted to us is that students are often checking their phones for notifications. So what we want to do with this app is make sure that notifications are being sent out. Something like, Enterprise has received your CV. This is going to keep the students' attention and their mind focused on, oh, Enterprise has seen my CV. It's going to keep the attention there. Every step along the way, we want notifications to be popping up on students' cellular devices through this app. And what that's going to do is really keep them engaged, keep Enterprise's name on their minds. How is this going to help us recruit top talent? This is really key because a lot of the times when students are going online onto sites like Workopolis, they're not really filtering out who's there. But when they've gone to these events and they've seen that Enterprise has a core values and a work structure that matches with their lifestyles and their preferences, this is going to entice them really to go in and apply. So we'll just go over what we wanted to outline for you today. To increase awareness, this is going to be done, like I mentioned, through the app as well as at these events. Because like Mark said, what we really remember from our university degrees is the fun times we've had. And if Enterprise's names can be associated with these amazing times, like the one we're having right now at JDC, this is really key, and this is what's going to stick in their head, and they're going to think of Enterprise when it's time to apply for those jobs at the end of their degree, or even when they're thinking about it maybe in the middle of their degree. It's going to increase the number of applicants because of that awareness. More and more people are going to be knowing the Enterprise name, and it's going to be so simple for them to apply through these apps. And lastly, it's going to give that increased view into the work culture, because by seeing Enterprise at things such as Red Bull Crushed Ice, things like Frosh, they're going to know that this isn't a stuck-up company that doesn't like parties. This is a company that's fun and that's out there, that supports you having fun, and that's going to allow you to have fun at work. The students will be able to talk with recruiters at these events, and these recruiters are going to be key in outlining as well that we love our jobs, we have fun at our jobs, and you will too if you come apply at Enterprise. So, like I mentioned, life was an open road until we got to that stop sign at the end of university. But by having these opportunities to apply for these jobs at Enterprise, students are going to be able to start the next open road, which may have a little speed bumps because, like you mentioned, you really value hard work. You're going to test these students, but they're going to have a great time working at Enterprise. We thank you and we open the floor to questions.
Une des sous-questions un peu dans le cas était de pouvoir augmenter aussi le nombre d'applications des femmes. Vous n'en avez pas parlé beaucoup, quelle est votre approche à ce sujet?
Yeah, so by having Enterprise at these events, an idea that we thought of was to have a lot of women be ambassadors at these events. So simply by being out there, the Enterprise name is going to be known, and women as well as men will be interested. But if it's women who are ambassadors for it, it's going to make them more enticed to come and apply as well.
Just to add on to that, very well said, and thank you for the question, but one of the things too that we didn't mention, we only mentioned the Red Bull Crushed Ice, but there are other events as well, more specifically tailored to women that we could attend on top of that, just to encourage the numbers to go up a bit more.
In the center of your proposal, there's the development of the app or the use of the app. How do we make sure that students will use it? Because we need a lot of students to use it if we want that to be effective. So how are we going to ensure that?
Yeah, well, at my school personally, we have an app that is used all the time by our students, whether that's to check class schedules, register for courses, everything. So the schools who actually have an app already are using it a lot because it's part of our daily lives. It helps us get around school. And then the schools that don't already have the app, by developing one, it's going to really get them engaged within their school, and then having enterprise on that app will definitely increase exposure.
Quick question. I understand all the extra visibility awareness aspect of it, and I understand that most of the conversion will be done through the app in terms of generating the potential candidates. However, is there any other ways that you guys thought about in terms of getting these applications? Because I'm just not assuming that each university has this app. So how will you guys make sure that all these awareness efforts converts into candidates for enterprise?
That is something that we did discuss, and there are a lot of options. We just figured that this one was the best approach for your company. Another option as well, because some of the schools don't already have an app, we were also thinking every university has a web page and a web portal for the students to use. So there is a place on that web portal specifically for job postings, whether it be by faculty or by school in general. And you could also get your name on those ones. So even if it's not directly on their phone, every time they go to the job portal, there will be a little enterprise logo at the bottom. And as my colleagues had mentioned, even if they're not looking to apply right then, they see this logo so often, they know your company, they think about their name. So then when they do go to apply to a job, it'll be one of the first things that comes to their mind, and they will look into your company before any others.
Thanks.
You mentioned a few times that you think we should be more present in different events. What kind of involvement do you suggest we have? Just sponsorship, having special activity? What we should do to attract people if we're participating in those events?
So one thing that we've definitely noticed when companies are present at events is that students can sometimes be shy to go up and approach them. So having something at your booth that's interactive, such as a game, like a trivia, that's going to entice students to come. Also giving away small things like sunglasses. You know, the enterprise booth here is giving away hats. Things that are going to bring the students to come in. So that's going to sort of break the barrier of, oh, it's shy to talk to a recruiter. To let them have fun and interact with that person that's there is going to be key in really getting the students to go to these booths.
And to add on to that, as a personal anecdote, during our Frosh event, for example, we had a lot of companies come in, sponsor the events, and those were some of the most memorable times of my university career thus far. And I remember pretty much all of the companies that were there, and it was just unbelievable. So if you guys were there as an interactive corporation at these events, we would definitely remember enterprise, and especially being on the app as well, having constant exposure to the company would be a very memorable way to get talent.
Thank you. Thank you.